Welcome to Tucker and Riyadh, the Wheel of Time showcast. I am your host, Joe Perry, here with my co-hosts, Jen Isgro, Tom Kikoza, and three very, very, very special co-hosts, Michelle, Dan, and Sarah. I'll start with you, Jen. Well, let's start with the top square. Jen, Dan, how are you doing tonight?
Doing well. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, it's a little more crowded in here, a little hotter. But
that's what happens when Dan enters a room. It gets hotter.
Yes.
It's any room. It's natural heat.
I'm excited because we probably don't have to do that much talking tonight. So
Jen,
I'm excited to hear what they have to say.
You're gonna carry this episode, Jen, for us. So be prepared.
Okay, good. Okay.
Tom and Michelle, how you doing?
All right. Good.
Yeah, we're doing well. Yeah.
You sound like the two women on that Saturday Night Live sketch.
Yes.
I can't wait to try some of your sweaty balls.
I'm trying to make it loud and quiet at the same time. It's
Right.
a weird
So,
space to live in.
so full disclosure for all of everyone listening, if you're watching right now, you can see we're not in the room that I normally record. We're in my living room, and 3 feet to our left is my son who's asleep.
Oh, no.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be fun.
This will be so. We want to play some bets on if he's going to wake up or not, or
I think we're good.
Yeah,
think we're good.
He's gonna dream of whatever we talk about.
Yeah.
oh God, you better be careful on what you say then. At least you can't hear what we're saying then. That's probably the good part.
Yeah.
And Sarah, how are you? Are you excited to be here like everyone else is? Subdued?
Yes. It's a little hot. Like you sit here with these lights on you every week.
Yeah, it's warm today because it's kind of humid out. I did open the window back there, but yeah, it's what we have to. It's what we live with. You're not probably not as hot as Jen and Dan are right now, though.
But they're in a tiny booth.
Yes,
So
it's gotta be super.
Yeah.
hot
We do have the door open. So we're letting air.
Fan is on it.
Yeah.
I built this booth. I could have built ventilation, but that was too
We'll
much.
We'll see who's
Airtight.
pitting out first. Pitting out, man. It's hot in here.
So we're gonna be doing this is gonna be a total spoiler free episode. We've got 3 non-book readers here, our spouses who have been watching the show with us, maybe reluctantly, maybe happily, who knows? We're not gonna ask about that part. We just want to get their thoughts on season 3 now that the entire season is over. We've done this in the past, so I feel like this is one of those things we're obligated to do now. So you're all locked in for this for however long the show goes.
I think they're obligated to do it. We want to do it.
Yeah.
They're obligated to do it.
Yes, they're obligated. They've signed.
So
Go ahead.
I thought like you were obligated to ask us.
No.
No, you're obligated to be here once a season.
Look,
It's my obligation. I'm obligated.
Yes.
You're
Yes.
obligated. We're gonna have like a year and a half minimum of content to create. You have to be here for one of these episodes to give us something.
Yeah, we need help. We one time every 2 years, we're just out of ideas, so that's why we bring you on. We have
Okay,
nothing else to
fair enough.
talk about. All right, are you all okay? So I'll just start as opening remarks. Season 3, just like to get a gauge on everyone's thoughts on it. Where would you rank season 3 against the other 2 seasons? I'll start with Jen and Dan. It's weird. I feel like I'm a game show host. Well, Jen, I already know what you're going to say. Dan, what do you think?
I don't know. I really liked season 2 a lot.
Oh,
And I also thought that I enjoyed season 1, but I felt like everything got bigger in season 2, and I think everything was just as big in season 3. So I thought season 2 and season 3 were like big steps up from season 1.
Mhm.
But I don't know. Season 3 I thought was maybe like, I would say like half a step below season 2. I think season
Wow.
2 was
Wow.
probably still my favorite.
So that's not as wild as that one person's review you read the other night, Tom, for our Patreon episode, who thought
Right.
season 1 and 2 were great and thought season 3 was trash.
Yeah.
Wow.
I
So
don't even know what's happening in episode 4. They're like back and forth and like had a structural issue with
Yeah, they said they had a real problem with the beginning of the season, the first, like the opening scene of the new season.
A real problem with good television.
They thought it was terrible. All right, so you have it just below season 2, like half a step below season 2.
Yes.
Okay. Was anything specific about it? Like, was it the story was better, the characters, like anything particular that you can think of that puts it that way?
I think like the new stuff that opened up the world, I liked it the best. Like the Eelfin in the last season. Eelfin.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool. Like I just thought it was a cool character and a cool new thing. That's like, what is this? And it's opening up the mythology of the show. Ruidian was awesome. What else? There's something else that I'm forgetting too.
Episode 7.
Which one was that?
Oh,
Paradise and the Two Rivers.
The Two Rivers fight, the big fight.
Yes, yes. Yes, the Battle of Two Rivers was awesome.
Yeah.
And Aiel too. The coolest.
I'm sorry. Who?
Wait, you're answering questions too soon.
Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. Which character was that you were talking about?
Aiel.
That's correct. Thank you. I was lost there for a second there. How about you, Sarah? In all 3 seasons, if you rank them against each other, where would you put season 3?
You've asked me this before in the past, and I don't have a favorite season.
Okay.
I really enjoyed season 3. There were parts that felt rushed, and I'm not a book reader, but there were things that felt a little rushed to me.
I think every season's had at least has had that problem at some point in it.
And there were moments where I felt like you had to pause the episodes a lot because I had so many questions. There were times where I did not know what was happening. So I did feel a little lost as someone who's never read the books, and I didn't feel that way as much in past seasons.
Okay. I get that because like Dan said, the world kind of opened up a bit and you got introduced to it's the 3rd season and you're still getting introduced to new things, which is kind of just like a trademark of this whole series because, I mean, even in the books, like book 10, 11, they're introducing new characters who are important characters to the story. So
it's on, but some of it is, and I guess because they don't have the time, there isn't much of a background to some of these people. So it's just like, oh yeah, I'm here now. And they're either good or bad. And but particularly even Pat and Fane, I still don't understand what's up with that guy.
He's a dark.
I'm very intrigued. Yeah, but like you've told me there's so much more to his story and you can tell, and it's just not there. And it's very frustrating to watch his scenes.
Wow, look at that. That's so like I think a lot of book readers feel that way about Patton Fane because he is a bigger character and a more interesting character in the book series. I think they're just using him. He's not going to be the same character he's in the books. They're just kind of using him to fill roles where they need him, I feel. I mean, he's been doing some of the stuff that he does in the books, but there's just more to him. Michelle, in the ranking the seasons, where would you put season 3?
I think I do like season 1, then 3, then 2.
Okay.
But it's honestly because I feel like season 1, like I was keeping up with it. I understood like what, like they're revealing it. Like, I'm like, okay, I got it. Season 2 is like a blur. I couldn't tell you something aside from like the wolf eyes and like all the dog stuff, which was really cool. I know that was season 2. I couldn't tell you anything else that was season 2. And season 3 is fresh. So
yeah. That's a good point because, right, I think in the first season they did take a little bit more time to explain things and not introduce as much stuff because I guess it's the first season, so they're like we got to make sure that we're not rushing too much and making sure we're having time for explanation of things so that people aren't lost in the first season, which would be pretty terrible. I don't think Jen, I think, and Tom, I think I know where you rank season 3 amongst them, but you want to just confirm it?
Yeah. I'm 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
Same.
I think the same, but like you said, like you got to take it slow in season 1 and like make sure everybody's like ready for this journey, and then at the end of season and at the end of season 3, you could just be like, oh, here's this like Foxman. Like, just go with it. Like, you can't rush that. You know, even though that's the part of the story that it comes in, it's just like get ready. Like, it has to ramp up, you know, like with weird stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure no one had Foxman in episode 8 who didn't read the books. For sure. Yeah, I'd say the same rankings. Obviously, season 1, there was a lot of, you know, behind the scenes issues going on. I kind of wonder, you know, without COVID and without Barney leaving, how much better that season would have been. But I mean, we'll never know.
I think a lot better.
Yeah.
But
Other man.
that's right.
I forgot other man.
Yeah, 3, 2, 1. I like it. So I want to ask about, so there's new characters in this season, right? As you guys were talking about. One character who's technically not new because she was at the very end of the last season, Mogedion. Dan, you mentioned Fael. We've got another, we introduced to a couple of more Forsaken, right? Ravine, who's also that Gabriel guy who's Elaine's mother's lover. Samael, who gets taken apart at the end. We've got Elida, who's that new red sister who comes in and causes a lot of issues. You got all these Aiel, Elaine's family. I'd like to get everyone's thoughts on the new characters. Did you have a favorite new character, Michelle?
Oh gosh, favorite.
Or one that just stood out to you? It doesn't have to be.
The guy, the what was it, Sam?
Samael?
Yeah, I was like, who is this person? What's happening? I felt like it was so important. I was like, I have no idea who this is.
Oh, you know, it's Tom's favorite
Big
Forsaken.
scar. Oh no.
Yeah. Well, he does it. He gets, you know.
Yeah.
I was very confused.
Prematurely.
That's
taken
not
out.
his plot in the books.
He gets literally torn apart.
Yeah.
He gets.
Well, that was cool.
That was pretty cool. How about you, Sarah? Favorite new character?
Mogedion.
Yeah?
Yes.
Yes.
She is absolutely terrifying.
I want to interview.
But she's very intriguing at the same time. She's just.
I want to interview
Great.
Leia Costa. I think she's like that in real life.
Yeah.
I hope not.
Yeah, because I think like a lot of the stuff she kind of came up with on her own, you know, all the creepy. They were like, be creepy. And then she's like chewing up food and spitting it back out and
Putting their
doing like
underwear
all
on
this
her
random
face.
stuff. Yeah, putting her fingers in the guy's mouth. Like,
That was
Just-
my favorite. I still think that might be like one of my top 2 or 3 moments of this season. As much as I don't like that scene, just because of, you know, what it is, but like she is super creepy in that. And just to like at the end stick her finger in his mouth. So weird and creepy. Any thoughts on Elida, the new red sister who comes in and takes over,
Explores the space.
explores the
Yeah.
space a bit? Yeah.
She's horrible.
Was that?
She's horrible.
She's horrible.
That's one power hungry, crazy old lady bitch. I don't like her.
She is. That's true. That's
Brendan
true.
loves her.
I have a hard time with
Really?
her casting because all I think of is Zool. So
Yeah,
she's very distracting for me in that way because I just immediately think of Ghostbusters when I hear her voice. I can't.
Yeah, she did. She did the voice of Zool in the newer Ghostbusters.
Oh, she did?
Oh,
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
think
know
I
so.
didn't
I'm
know
pretty
that.
sure
She was
did.
also the voice of the dragon in
Oh, yeah.
Damsel.
Yes, that Millie Bobby Brown
yeah,
movie we watched.
Yeah,
Yes.
we saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, she does a bunch of voices. She does a lot of voiceover work. She's got such
Yeah,
a
her voice
distinguished
is-
voice.
Yes.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, Brendan likes her because he's like, I forget how he described her. Like, she's just like a bad person, but she's on the side of the light.
She
Like,
thinks she's good.
But
That's
she's
what
like,
it is.
She
Terrible.
believes in what
Yeah.
she's
She's
doing.
a horrible person,
Yeah.
but she like the Forsaken know they're bad people.
yeah.
Like Elida thinks she like Leandra doesn't think she's a good person. Elida
Yeah.
thinks she's a good person, but she's horrible.
Oh, I love that scene. Wait, what? She's receiving some. What is it with the necklace? And there's like a real like burn. It's like, no, that's more your taste.
Oh, it's
I
too
like
gaudy
that.
for my taste. You
Oh,
keep
yeah,
it.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
keep it. And I was like, ooh.
And was she the one who told I'm sorry, you know me with the names, but Mother,
Swan?
yes,
Yeah.
that like you were just a She basically
Oh,
calls
she
her
ca-
trash.
Yeah, she
Oh,
called her
river trash.
She called her
Yeah.
river trash. Yeah.
Right in that moment, I was like, oh, I hope bad things
Yeah,
happen
yeah.
to you.
Yeah.
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 I honestly thought that she came in and it was like, everything was happening away from the White Tower. And then she came in to mess with Swan. I was like, oh, this is just going to be like something to keep Swan busy throughout the entire season. And they're just going to like bicker back and forth, whatever. And then when there was that episode where Moraine was talking to Swan and she's like, you cannot screw up again. It's going to be bad. I was like, oh no. Like
She's
it's going to go
screwing up
down
right
soon.
now.
Yeah. Like, and then like when it happened in the end, I was like, oh boy, that was much she was much more consequential than I thought she was going to be.
Yeah.
Elida.
Yeah. I will say this, and it's a spoiler, but it's not a spoiler anymore. Swan doesn't die at that point in the books. So there was a decision they made to kill her off. She kind of in the book, she kind of like doesn't do that much for a while, and then she does a little bit later on. But yeah, that was a big change. But it's funny because it's something that we had talked about, Tom and Jen and I. Like this is a while ago. Like I'm talking even around season 2, like that we could see them killing her off just because, there's only so many characters you can have in a season at the same time. And like I said, she's not a big role later on. And people were surprised that she died. And I was like, I wasn't. It made sense for the story.
I think there's more to that than just, there's more to the people's feelings about being upset that she died.
Oh,
than
yeah.
just like the decision to kill off a character. There's like
oh, yeah. Yeah.
People being upset about certain types of people being killed in violent ways on TV shows. So
Yeah.
that was a big conversation, but.
So Dan, you said you didn't see that coming. How about you, Michelle and Sarah? Did you think Swan was going to be killed or at least lose power?
I thought she was going to stick around longer.
Yeah.
I did. Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, I thought she would have stuck around longer. But with shows like this, I've learned not to be surprised and don't get attached to anybody. So
yeah, for sure.
That's true.
So we had a few big deaths, right? We had Swan, we had Loyal, we had Valda, right? Those were the 3 big deaths.
Yeah, I think those are the three regular characters that are no longer on the show.
Well, there was
no, my favorite
Ivan.
death. What's the name of that white cloak? What's his name?
Yeah, Valda.
Oh, okay.
Valda.
That was wonderful.
Ivan. I mean,
Yeah.
he was a
Oh,
big
Ivan.
character.
Ivan too at the beginning.
Yeah, Ivan, new actor, Ivan.
Alana's warder
Alana's warder.
that died in the first
Mother
episode.
Matt.
Oh, right.
Oh, and Natty. Yeah.
Oh, Natty
Natty.
Cawthon.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
Matt's
that
mother.
was really
Oh.
heartbreaking.
That was
Yeah, it
heartbreaking
was horrible.
too.
That was a brutal death too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Days Congar. Pour one out.
Oh yeah. Pour one out for days.
The lady she was in the 2 rivers. She all of a sudden knew how to channel, put up a big shield, and then she got like killed by a big arrow.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I didn't know her name.
Days Congar. Damn.
You said pour
She's
one
been
out.
in it since the first episode of the show. I can't believe you would forget her.
She's in like 3 episodes of the entire
She's
series.
drunk in every episode she's in. It's amazing.
You said pour one out for
Oh,
days,
yeah,
and it sounds like pour one out for days at a time.
Yeah.
Time days.
Alcera.
Oh, Alcera, the
she's
little girl.
Yeah. That wasn't a regular on the show, but yeah.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, I was
we did a lot of
emotional.
deaths.
Yeah, 3 big. I guess 4 if you throw in
Okay.
Natty Cawthon.
It's that her death was just. This was a child. The way it happened.
Yeah.
That's what was so
Yeah.
upsetting about that.
Most surprised at which out of those deaths? Did anyone see any of them coming? Which one were you most surprised about? So we got Valda, who's the White Cloak, Loyal, Swan, and we'll say Matt's mother, Natty Cawthon. I know which one I was most surprised at.
You're going to say Loyal, wasn't it?
Loyal.
I would say Swan surprised me the most, and then Loyal was number 2.
Yeah.
Pretty close number.
In my brain, he's not like 100% dead though.
That's
He
true.
It's like a weird space, and he just kind of went into it. So like maybe he'll pop out somewhere.
We didn't see the body.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he wasn't, we didn't see him die either. We just saw him fall into an infinite abyss.
Forever.
But he was with the
Where he would
Waygate,
eventually
wasn't he,
suffocate.
right? He was with the Waygate.
Well, the Waygate was
Yes.
falling separate from. He wasn't on that platform.
Something could happen.
But he could fall
Well, so, like,
onto it, get to it.
I was gonna say, like, as he's
True.
falling, can he like swim?
And then what? No,
The
we
Waygate
get
is
Go
exploded.
through the
destroyed.
Waygate.
The Waygate, there
It
is no
exploded.
Waygate on the real world side. It's gone.
Well, maybe it goes somewhere else.
Yeah, that's in my mind. It goes somewhere else.
Thank you. I agree with Michelle.
I was surprised by
Whatever
all
brings
the
you
deaths
comfort.
that you've listed, Joe,
What's that?
because none of them happened. I was surprised by all of those deaths
Okay.
because none of them happened in the books.
That's true. None of them. Well, Valda dies
yeah.
just later on.
Not like
Yeah,
that.
people
Yeah,
die.
but I didn't expect Valda's death, but when he walked into that scene, I was like, like you see it coming right before it happens. I was like, no, Valda, no.
But why
I
no?
loved it.
Why?
'Cause he's- I
I've
just
been
loved
wanting that guy
watching him.
gone since the first season.
But he's
so
such a
bad.
good villain. I don't
was a
know. I
good
enjoyed
villain.
watching him.
He's very entertaining, but he
Yeah.
is now
Yeah, I
one
didn't
of those
like him,
actors
but-
that if I were to see him in real life, I wouldn't be able to separate him from his character.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, I'm so glad those little girls burned you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't do as much this season either, really. He only had like
Yeah.
two episodes where he did anything.
He does react to when Pat and Fane and the other white cloaks come in covered in blood, and his face is enough for the entire paycheck that he got for this show. It's like,
Yeah.
like,
He
unbelievable.
really only does stuff in 2 episodes of every season. He's not really like in the show very much.
But he makes the most.
But he has a
out of it.
lasting effect on
Yeah, he
on
makes the
everyone.
most out of his scenes. That's just like he's, he
Yeah.
wasn't chewing up scenery this season like he did in the other seasons.
Mhm.
But except when he died.
Or chewing up whole birds. Like
That's true. No more whole birds this season did he eat.
So many.
Yeah, Loyal, I would say, is definitely my most surprising death, most disappointed death, for sure. Natty was surprising and was sad. I feel like I might have been a little more sad at Natty's death than Loyal's. Loyal's, I was just more like, surprised and shocked.
Loyal's death was a sacrifice that was he was a hero. Natty was just murdered horribly for no reason. She gave herself up to save.
She saved her children.
No, I know,
Yeah.
but
She
you're
knew
right.
what she was doing.
All right, you're right.
She-
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still terrible. Yeah, we talked about it on the show when it happened, but I've always associated Loyal with Brendan, so I think that was the death that didn't necessarily surprised me the most, but impacted me the most.
You thought Brendan died. Did you text Brendan to make sure he was okay when that happened?
Yeah, I think I might have actually. I'm not even kidding.
All the books that will remain unread.
I shouldn't be laughing about that.
Ha ha ha.
So I want to ask about some maybe lasting moments or there's
It's okay.
We gotta go. Sorry.
oh man. Whoa. It all caught up to Tom.
I told you we shouldn't record up here.
For
You found me.
for those of you only listening, there was looks like police car lights go by Tom and Michelle's house.
What is this, a podcast? They can't see?
What? Yeah, this is a podcast.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Sorry. Favorite moments, parts, lasting moments or parts in episode in this season that you just like, wow, this was a really cool thing, or even if it wasn't cool, even if you thought it was like not good.
I know something that was not good.
Oh, what wasn't good?
That TJ Maxx hat. She kept wearing.
Oh,
Oh, I'm so glad you said that. That was like a
It took
whole
me out of
other
every
character on the
scene.
show.
Leave it behind.
that ate up a lot of
It ate up
needed
a lot
it.
of don't
But it was so
got very pale,
distracting
Carrie
and
Ann
so
skin.
ugly.
But I don't think anyone had a problem that she was wearing a hat. I think it was that hat.
That hat.
Yeah.
I thought it was gone, and
then it comes back.
It was distracting. Back. It was definitely distracting. Like when I would see her in that, I'm like, "What is that hat?" Why you weren't paying attention to what she said, or I wasn't paying attention to what she would say. Oh man.
The fashion, I do like how it's like, I feel like in season 1 everything was very like old timey, Lords of Ringsy, but then it's like, oh my gosh, no, some of them are like in super tailored, like modern suits and stuff. So I was like, oh, it's good, but like it still somehow didn't fit. Like I couldn't forgive it.
Yeah, you got that old like Greta, the Two Rivers. We spent a lot of time in the first season with the Two Rivers people, and they're just wearing their Two Rivers country folk type clothes, and then you get into cities and stuff, and you see some of the wild costumes. Plus, it was a whole new costume designer from season 1 to 2 and 3.
Yeah.
So the person who did
the same.
Yeah, the person who did season 1 left, and then it's been Sharon Gillam for the last 2 seasons. So I'm sure that has some effect on it too. What about you, Sarah? Any standout moments for you this season? Did you have a favorite episode or?
For just my own loving Perrin so much, like his whole episode.
Oh, the battle.
With the battle.
The
yes, that was my favorite episode.
Wow. Yeah.
And then I was sad because then there would be no more Perrin for the remainder of the season. But
yeah.
But I really enjoyed that episode. I really enjoyed that he's a kind of a reluctant leader.
Mm-hmm.
But then I also really love how he was it in the end he was almost like embracing the way of the leaf, where it was this will not stop until somebody says enough.
Murdered all those people.
But
they were mostly monsters.
Yeah.
There was a lot of dark friends, and that was one thing I noticed. Right, they were heavy on the dark friends in that fight, because I guess they didn't want to spend so much time with makeup and Trolloc prosthetics and whatnot.
Yeah.
Go ahead, hon.
No, but he did what. But also, what's the name of the woman he's now fallen in love with?
Fael.
That like beautiful
Fael.
woman. Yes, but I think she also helped him to. Right when he goes out to kill the Trollocs, and now he's angry because these are his people and he loves them and he wants to save them. And I think one of my absolute favorite scenes was he tells her to get behind him.
Yeah.
Oh.
And for a second there, you think she's going to be annoyed. And then he's like, no, get whoever I don't get. And she's like,
yeah.
Oh.
Say it, Tom.
It's like, wait till later. I'm going to fuck this guy.
Yes.
That's exactly what Joe said. Literally,
that was word. Such. You said that because I don't listen, so I didn't know you said that.
That's right. Kill the ones I miss, and then I've never on a television show seen a woman so clearly say with her face, "We are going to fuck so much together."
Yeah, she delivered that look perfectly.
Yeah,
like,
really.
She was like, she looked like she just saw like a delicious meal, and she hadn't eaten for years, and she saw the most delicious sandwich. She was like,
yeah.
Let's murder together, my
yes.
That's all she wants.
Dan, you liked that episode too. Was that your favorite episode?
No, I probably my second favorite episode. I thought like Aiel jumping onto the Trollocs and backstabbing everyone like 10,000 times per second was awesome. But I think my favorite episode was Ruidian.
Oh
That
yes,
was cool.
Yes, that was a really cool.
I like the Tuathan and like to see the relationship between like the what are they called, Aiel and the Tuathan. Like I didn't get it. I was like, wait a second, like they're the same people. And then Jen had to explain it to me. He's like, yeah, like they kill everyone with their spear, and the Tuathan do not want to hurt anybody, and they think that's horrible. They think that's disgraceful. So I thought that whole like relationship was cool, but like I said, I like the Tuathan, and then all of a sudden for them to be like the most important people in the show, I was like, oh, okay, this is different. I wasn't expecting that either.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's interesting because there are people who know that, right? So the wise ones and the clan chiefs all know the secret, right? The big secret, and they just kind of live with that in silence.
Now everyone knows.
But then you see too, like when they find the dead Tinkers, like earlier in the season, and Ruark is like, "I'll stay and bury them."
Yeah, they're like, want to spit up,
because
right?
he knows, and nobody else, and everyone else is like, "Why even bother?
Yeah,
why wait? Why waste your time?" And he's like, "I'll just stay."
Yeah, I'll stay and bury them.
Yeah.
Yeah, good point, Jen. Yeah, because he knows.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then I like how like you see the history of the Aiel, the secret history of the Aiel. You see all that, and then in episode 7, that kind of like repeats itself in modern times with Aram, right? When all the Tuathan are running with the children from the 2 rivers, and the Trollocs are chasing them, and here's this one guy. He's got the baby. He's trying to protect himself and the baby. The Trolloc comes and he like impulsively just grabs a weapon, and it's like that's why they call it the Wheel of Time. There's these kind of like full circle moments that just happen again. I thought that was done really well.
Yeah, definitely. Mirroring that scene in the 4th episode with Lewin, and his mother, who just made me cry. But yeah, 4th episode, definitely, I think a highlight for me, and I think you too, Tom and Jen. Michelle, you said something you didn't like. What did you really like about this season? Episode, events,
I like
character.
people talked about it already, but the Battle of the 2 Towers. I really like that there was like sorry.
Two Battle of 2 Towers is also really good though.
I like that someone, and I hope we find out who, that someone or someone's made like a special banner like just for Perrin. And they're like, they need something to believe in, and they like unfurled it. I was like, that's really nice.
Yeah, you want to find out who
made that? Like,
who's the graphic designer and seamstress in 2 Rivers? Yeah,
it was done quickly.
It was done quickly. I guess a lot of sewing, fast sewing. They don't have sewing machines, I guess, right? They have like a loom or something.
The loom was back for like 1 or 2 episodes, right? In the starting, or did I imagine?
It was in 1 episode. It was in the second episode, third episode.
Third, I think.
I was happy it came back.
Reason.
That's so weird that they did the opening credit sequence only in 1 episode, and it was the 3rd episode. Not like last season, right? They did it in just the 1st episode.
Just the 8th episode.
Oh, was it the 8th episode? Okay.
Yeah,
it's weird, and they're just gonna. Every season, they're just going to sneak it in 1 episode, I guess. Whatever
if they
the
have
shortest
time,
episode
Maybe it has to do with the timing.
Yeah, whatever the shortest episode is.
Yeah, they have literally said like, hey, that's 45 seconds of show we can be put out. I did like that they did in the beginning of episode 4. They have they have like the title card thing, whatever, and it's reversed if you watch it.
Yeah, the wheel spins the other way.
Yeah.
Oh,
They go back.
I missed that.
It goes backwards.
That's cool.
Yeah. I didn't notice that until somebody posted it on social media, I think. Yeah.
Study.
Symbolic for that episode because they go back in time.
Yes, they do.
That's probably why Dan liked that episode a lot, because they go back in time.
Dan likes when people go back in time.
Oh.
You do like that.
I do?
Yeah, you like a lot of movies where people go back in time.
Yeah, that's true.
You forgot?
I do enjoy time travel. So.
I almost want to do a cut now of the flashbacks over Huey Lewis back in time.
That would probably work.
I think it would look pretty cool. I think we could do it.
So while he's doing that, right? So you can go back.
Yeah.
Can you only go back as far? Like, was that multiple wheel turns or just one? You can only go back as far as your wheel. Because at first I was like, oh, this is only this.
That's a.
One. But then I was like, no, that's definitely when him and. I'll get her name in a second. The Forsake. Lanfear. I was like, no, that's definitely her and Luz, right?
That's not Luz Theron.
I'm confused again.
So, you know what Luz Theron looks like. He's been in the first 2 seasons. He's like he's a darker skinned gentleman, black hair. He wears like a black high neck collar.
Okay.
He was in the 8th episode of the.
But isn't that
first
her of that time?
That is her of that time before she's.
That's
Lanfear.
her. It's
right. So that's a different spinning of the wheel.
No, it's a different age. It's the same turning of the wheel.
So
Do you want to give a quick? So there's 7 spokes on the wheel, seven ages. So when it goes through 7 ages, it kind of resets.
So this device, these crystal columns, are designed specifically for the purpose of showing the Aiel their history.
Okay.
So any Aiel who goes through that will see their ancestors up until the point when they were, like, when the breaking happened.
Okay.
Right? That's it. Like, it doesn't go past that because that's what it's designed to do. Which is one age in the past.
Is the end of the second age.
And this is what we're watching now on the show. In general, is the end of the third age.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's about 3,000 years difference.
Like, it's not like a guy from every age. It's like a specific moment that was important, basically, for this story. Like, that shows how the Tuatha became the Aiel. So it's just like moments in his ancestors' lives that like shape this, basically.
And I think what Rand, and I think like what Rand discovers as he goes through his own journey, which everyone has the same general journey, but they're not all descended from the same guy necessarily, is like the fact that he and Lanfear like are seemingly tied together throughout the ages, because his ancestor, not Lews Therin, had some sort of personal relationship, more like master servanty kind of than romantic, but like that they were always tied together, I think.
Yeah.
No, it's hard to remember, which, because I get confused about this too, that like Lews Therin isn't like an ancestor of his. It's just like he just has his soul now, but it's like a completely different line of people. But originally when we were thinking about this, I was like, oh, maybe he'll be Lews. And then I'm like, no, that doesn't make any sense. Like,
well, they could have done that in the show and it wouldn't have, I don't think anybody would have been confused. Like in the set, yes, that's not how it works in the books. And
yeah. I thought like we would see like that scene, and then like she walks out and he overhears like a conversation between them, between like Lews and he's like just like privy to it or whatever.
He overhears like Lews Therin breaking up with Mirren. That's what he
something. I don't know. Yeah,
I lost you.
That's what I thought.
Ago.
I honestly thought we were going to see, or even in like an episode 8 flashback with we didn't get like a Lews flashback, so I thought we were gonna. I really thought we were going to see them together.
I don't know. I think we might have saw Lews in that last episode.
Well, I know, but not in the way that.
Yeah.
But if like the question I always have is like, okay, so there's multiple ages on one turning of the wheel.
7 ages.
So like
7 ages.
7 ages. Okay. So like if we were to see like the same time on like a previous turning of the wheel, is it like the exact same things happening with the exact same people?
No. So that's why they'll say like people say like the show is like a new turning of the wheel of like the book,
as opposed to the book.
So it's like the same people, but the stuff kind of happens differently. That's like a way to explain like why there's changes. People will say like, oh, this is like a different turning.
Yeah.
So it's the same people, and like, are they in some of the same situations, but some stuff is different, and
not the same.
You can just look at it like that.
The same souls.
Right. Well, no, I think right.
And then there's things that are always going to happen, though. I think there's always a dragon, right? There's
and like the premise of the premise of the story, for lack of a better term, is that this world is like our world is this world somehow, right? And that, all the stories that are happening in this thing become our myths, become our legends, right? And our reality becomes their myths and legends, right? And so like there's this that's like part of the cyclical pattern of things, which is why like,
and they put stuff in the show,
right? You have a hero whose last name is Thor who shoots lightning bolts, right? And
well, I was going to say there's other things like little Easter egg type things that most people would notice unless they read the books, like. For instance, in the Panarch's palace, right? I don't know if anyone noticed when they were in one of those, when they were at the end, right? When the Black Aja and Nynaeve and Elaine and Matt are, looking for them. They show like a Mercedes symbol on display.
I didn't even see that. But
you didn't see it?
Yeah, it's there.
No.
It's there. Yeah. Okay. That's supposed to be like some sort of ancient artifact in this palace, but it's literally supposed to be the Mercedes logo. Like, what do they call it from the
star,
the hood ornament? Yes, it's supposed to be the hood ornament from an actual Mercedes. the idea is that, right? So you guys saw the second age, which was the very last flashback with Mirren, aka Lanfear, right? This age is the third age. I think the RJ's intention was the first age is our age, this age. So this is almost like this story is technically supposed to be happening in the future. So
yeah. So every time
the
the
Age
wheels
of Legends.
Age of Legends is the
that's the
second,
second
age.
age.
That's the Lanfear.
But is that after us now?
Yes, that was the age.
So somebody
after us.
That's like
discovers.
our
Yeah, so at the end of I don't know how our age is supposed to end,
our
but
age ends with, or
the
second
discovery
age
of.
begins the discovery of the one power.
So there's no like big.
There is.
Like,
Cataclysmic event. There's usually a cataclysmic event.
It's
Yeah.
all right. Well, this is
It's
implied that there's a nuclear war.
Matt.
It's implied there's a nuclear war.
He loves to talk
and
about
then
this
like
stuff.
the discovery of the one power, and then it goes into the second age,
The second age
which
is
is
like a
supposed to be
magic
like the
and
greatest
yeah,
age ever, and no war, and everyone's happy until
until what you saw
Lanfear
happen.
opens up the war.
until the devil rips a hole in the sky.
Yeah,
Well, he didn't rip the hole himself. Somebody poked.
he was the last.
Didn't land.
He was broken into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She had
Lanfear.
the one power hand crank and drill.
Yes.
You see, it's blaming a woman. That's like Eve with the apple.
He drilled.
Yeah.
into the
Well,
war.
Yes.
Yeah,
listen,
basically.
Robert
Yes.
Jordan. Where's the book Origins of the Wheel of Time? Robert Jordan took a lot of stuff from his story
From religion.
from Arthurian myths. What's it called? What's that other book?
By Joseph Campbell.
Yeah.
Not Joseph
The
Campbell.
White
yeah.
Far. What is it called? The White something? The White Fairy? Is that what it's called? Something like that. And I can't remember what the other thing was. There's like 3 different main things that Jordan took a lot of his stuff from. So like you said, Randall, Thor. Matt's character is supposed to be kind of like a what's his name? Odin, right? Well, that'll come into play later. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff they pull from the White Goddess. Thank you, Light Blinded Fool. I still have to read that. Yeah, sounds like a really trippy kind of book, though.
I never picked up on that Thor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is Dan. I will say this. What episode was it, guys, when I realized that Guinevere was Guinevere?
It was when we were doing the Egwene episode, and I
Yes.
explained that was thing. You're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
We've read the books for like I don't know,
I never
20
picked
or
up
15 years
Egwene
ago.
Alvier or Guinevere. Well, I never picked that up.
Right.
Obviously,
Yeah,
Moraine
for
and
Lancelot.
yeah, Merlin,
Yeah, all of him,
Merlin.
Right.
Brendan
And
loves
you-
that one.
Oh,
It's
wow.
literally just called a
You
Merlin.
have to read the origins of the Wheel of Time. It's good.
Right. And
Oh, is that
you
what it
have,
is?
Yeah,
you have
they're
two.
all in there.
You have Gawain and Galad, or
Yeah.
Galahad,
Elaine's
introduced
brothers
this season.
Yeah.
So there's a lot. Of
Thoughts on Elaine's brothers and mother and well, I won't mention Gabriel right now, but yeah. Did you like the meeting Elaine's family? What'd you think of them?
I could have done without them.
Yeah.
I don't really care about the brothers,
Yeah. Okay. I could see that.
and her mom sucks. So
Yeah. They changed her a bit in the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. Like, Michelle and Dan, what did you think of the brothers? Did you like, okay, this is just kind of like some people they're throwing in that really I don't care about?
Yes.
Okay.
Aw.
Yeah.
The only thing, I thought, it was nice when they faced off with Matt, just to be like, Matt's my, like, the big rough and tumble guy, and these are, like, the polished brothers.
the one thing
Privileged.
about them coming on, though, I liked is you see how different Elaine is from them. And I liked that. She seems very different from the family that she has come from.
Yeah, which is
Like, she's got a good heart. She's a good
yeah.
person.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know if they're like in this show only Tam can be a good parent. I don't know.
Marin Alvier seems nice.
Yeah, Marin's good.
That's true. Marit's good. Marit's a good parent too.
I don't think her mom, I wouldn't necessarily call her a bad mother. She's a bad person, but she's good to her children, like to her daughter.
Yeah.
She's just a shitty person. She
Yeah.
shouldn't be a leader.
You mean when she murdered all those people
Yeah,
in the beginning?
yeah.
That's what you got to do to get your power.
No, you are no leader.
That's not what Morghese really did, though. I really did.
Well,
in real life.
Well, we don't know what happened. We don't know what happened.
We only know what's written. Yeah, they made her mother a little bit more unlikable, for sure. And I don't know. Yeah, I won't say anything about the brothers, too much about them, but
which one was better looking?
Yeah, which one was better looking?
The one with the tight jacket.
They both had tight jackets on.
No, when they first came in, one had like the red jacket on, the other one didn't.
Galad,
I guess the first one you see.
The one with the beard.
I guess the older one, yeah.
Galad, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's how it should be.
He is.
Dan's like, Dan gave you such a look.
No, that's how it should be. He's supposed to be more handsome.
He's supposed to be he's supposed to be extremely
the most handsome person. Yeah.
Around. But he is a little. Yeah, he's not supposed to be as he doesn't. I never took him as rugged in the books.
No, he's beautiful.
I would not think rugged for a second looking at that guy.
Oh, just because he's, I don't know. I guess maybe because I know he's he plays country music and he has a beard. So maybe that's why I'm thinking
he's not,
more rugged.
I mean, he's still
his newest single is Cold Beer Cold.
He's a Scottish guy who
I know. That's why it's weird.
Country music, and he lives in Tennessee.
He moved to Nashville.
He moved to Nashville.
He lives in Nashville.
Cold beer, dirty jeans.
Cold beer, cold. I swear to God.
With a Scottish accent.
That's real?
Yes, I'm not kidding. That's the song. I'll play it for you later. Cold beer, cold.
Go on follow him on Instagram. He's always posting songs and
No, he was very nice. We interviewed him. He was a nice guy.
Yeah, I like talking to him a lot. Except his audio was bad.
Yeah, it was, but
otherwise he was. Yeah.
I think the mom became much more interesting at the end of the season when Tom was talking to Elaine and telling her about this guy, and she didn't know. She didn't remember. Is that what it was? She
didn't remember Tom. Is that what you're talking about? Or Gabriel? She's talking about Gabriel.
She remembered
the guy who's
Gabriel.
And Tom was like, that person doesn't exist. She's like, no, they've been going out for years. And he's like, no, I was there and I've been paying attention, and that's a Forsaken. He took a big jump to be like, he must be a Forsaken.
But she was talking about someone that he didn't remember.
Right, because he just came out of his prison
a month ago.
Lord Gabriel.
In episode 3, he says I've been out a month, but he's compelling everybody to feel like they've known him for years.
Yeah, so he could do mind stuff.
But Tom wasn't around him, so he isn't getting them help.
Okay.
So he's like, what are you talking about?
This they took a big leap with that. Trying to explain that. Right. He's a Forsaken. You learn in the 3rd episode that he's a Forsaken. And then you're like, okay.
The 3rd episode was hard for us because we couldn't hear anything. We didn't have closed captioning. We couldn't hear
right.
Remember?
Yeah. We can't hear it without the caption.
Yeah. It's like, do you need me to explain everything that just happened?
Yes. So he was a Forsaken, and you don't know, though. They don't explain, I guess, until the end, because everyone seems to know him as if he was been there forever. And you're like, this guy just got out of prison in a month ago. So why does everyone think they've known him forever? I guess you just assume it's the one power, which it is. He's doing something. But then Tom is like, who you talking about? I don't know who that is. That guy doesn't exist. And Jen, you're right. He makes the big leap to Forsaken. It's the 2nd or 3rd time it happens.
The only person who could do that would be a Forsaken.
Well, I will say this. You're right. It's very quick, but the show has established over the course of the season that modern age Aes Sedai cannot do compulsion like that.
Yeah.
It's very blunt force. I can wipe your memory and make you basically a lobotomized person, or I cannot do anything. Right. So to do the level of implanting memories in your brain, that's a level of
skill
that nobody alive now has.
Yeah.
Oh, because that one red Aja, she could only basically turn people into vegetables.
Basically.
Yeah.
She would kind of mess up their brain a bit.
Yeah.
So he's a bad guy, right? He's one of the Forsaken. Like you said, Dan, right? They have that conversation. You learn that Tom knows Elaine, or used to be at court when she was a baby. He was a court bard, and then whatever. He knew her and the family, but he left for whatever reason. That's a big leap right there.
Yeah, because
I mean,
I didn't. That all went right over my head until you guys just explained all
Yeah.
that right now.
Yeah.
Like that totally.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of the way they did that because I think it was a little confusing. Just yeah, I don't know.
It's weird because like I feel like we know Tom is like
Everyone knows Tom's trustworthy. He's the best.
yeah, right. Like, no, but like he knows a lot of stuff. He's like extremely knowledgeable and like a good guy to have around. But on the show, like you don't really know that about him. So it's weird that he would assume just because he doesn't know somebody that like they don't exist. Like, I don't know who that is, so that can't be a real person.
That's a very
like,
Tom thing to do, though. Tom, like he's very sure of himself. Like he's right. He would know if there was.
Right, but on the show,
even if he wasn't like his character, right? I think people would know who in other cities if somebody. This is why the whole thing like falls apart, right? Because people in Kyrian would know that Morghese, even without being in his presence, that Morghese has been with some guy for the last month.
Right.
So then, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, Tom,
I
was so confused. I was so confused, and like Tom explained it to me, but I was like, "Well, now I can't trust anything in the show that I'd seen or I'm about to see." And then they explained it in the last episode, and I was like, "Okay, I needed this scene 4 episodes ago."
Yeah, yeah. I think
now
they
I'm
just
just like,
couldn't
I
fit it
don't
in.
know.
Yeah, I think they just couldn't fit it in. Does he say something though in episode? Well, he kind of hints to it, I guess, right? In the 3rd episode, in that scene when you find out he's a Forsaken.
He says, like,
opening
yeah.
scene.
Lanford says something about it, how like you've been out for a month and you've already got you know your
queen,
prize and your queen or whatever.
Yeah.
And he goes, but anyone who meets us will think that we've been together madly in love for 10 years.
Yeah, he does say that. And if you don't catch it or your closed captioning isn't on,
or you're like, well, why would they think that? Maybe you should.
Or you're like Brendan and you don't realize that's the same guy. Until I mentioned it in my recap and he was like, oh.
Yeah, didn't know it was the same guy. He should have been wearing that bright red outfit. It would have been a little.
Yeah, it was dark.
It was also very, very dark.
I think that's what happened to me. That's why all that went over my head.
Yeah, probably.
I thought that was just some other person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, all that went right over my head.
Yeah, probably because it was dark. It was too dark.
And then you never see him again on the show, right? Like so.
Well, you see him at the
he's
end.
in episode 8.
He's in.
At the very
episode.
end, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he's in episode 2, 3, and 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's mentioned enough.
So
Yeah,
he is mentioned. That's true. Discussed. All right, so you've asked some questions. I want to know if any of you have other questions about this season that you didn't get to ask, or maybe you did ask already and you want to ask to all of us.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Is the scene in the book with the hills of Tanchico?
No.
No.
Thank goodness.
Did you not like the hills of Tanchico, Michelle?
Oh.
And then they reprised it.
They're just singing it consistently, probably for like an hour.
But like, does she sing something to get out of a jam?
No, she gets drunk a lot, but not.
Well, she gets drunk once.
That's I will say
Only
this,
once.
Like, that
Yes.
is kind of like a
Like they combined a bunch of things.
yeah. That's kind of like
In
an
the
amount
show,
of,
she
like,
gets drunk a lot. You're right.
It was such a.
You're okay. You're right. Maybe I'm
Deal.
thinking of the show.
What was that, Michelle?
I didn't even get what it was about until like the second time I watched it. I was like, oh, now I know what they're doing.
Oh, I just thought it was the ancient Tanchico chef shimmy dance.
Thought they were just like being weird and dancing strange. I didn't like put the two things together.
Like that
I don't
was
know.
just how they dance in Tanchico?
Yeah, I don't know.
These hills will make a man out of you.
I wasn't listening. I don't know. I was
Neither was I.
watching.
You had to
We
tell
say
me
like
that.
we're always watching the like what's going on the screen. I wasn't like listening to the
It's like
words.
you did it,
You
you got
weren't
out of
reading
it, but it's like
with-
let's double down and sing it some more.
Let's keep going.
Was there no closed captioning for this episode too?
There was, but I guess I was too busy looking around. I don't know.
You didn't like the song, Michelle?
No,
Was it the what it was about, or was it the actual like melody to the song? Or?
both.
Okay.
Could have been shorter.
They couldn't have brought it back a couple of
It was
times.
pretty short. I mean,
Like, all right, I hear what you're saying. I think the initial setup was like, yes, I know this Tenchiko folk song, and I was like, that one? Are you sure?
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, I got it. And then like as she's singing it and realizes what it's about, she looks at him and he's like, "You're in it now."
Yeah.
Like that's good. Like
She's
even
me.
she didn't know what it was about.
Yeah.
but like when they come back,
No.
when they come back like an hour later and they're just singing the same song,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh,
Yeah, I would
Well, it's
say
also funny because like Sarah Nakamura told us that everyone in the scene was really drinking and really getting drunk.
were they?
Like they all had real alcohol. Yeah, she said in one of the panels, like they would bring
Oh.
real alcohol, so everybody would like loosen up and have fun, and they were all like actually drinking.
Oh
that was
wow,
it's apparently
awesome.
a something that the crew does often in shoots there. So that wasn't the first time that's happened. The scene in season 1 when Egwene comes back and they're all celebrating Egwene survived the like her women's circle test.
Yeah.
Like again, they're all drinking for real there.
Oh, so Dace Congar might really be drunk in real life.
Yeah.
They just want to get.
Doesn't she spill a beer like all over herself and die laughing? Like
Yeah,
in that
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That wasn't accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she doesn't. So, like, to go back to like, how does she not know what the song is about? My guess is she just knows the words to it, but once she starts seeing everybody dancing the way they're dancing, it's like that's what connects her to it.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, as cool as she may be, she's still kind of like a sheltered elite.
Yes.
And like this was a song that she read in a book, and she read the music and she knows how to sing it.
Yeah.
Right. But she's never like lived it. Kind of.
Yeah.
That's how I took it too. Like she's kind of like a nerdy type A personality. It's like, I know this song. I know the words. I can sing it. And it's like, oh, that's what the song is. Oh, okay.
Like, well, now you got to finish it.
Yeah.
Yeah. She gets used to it though.
I actually love that scene. She's like, I guess since I'm in Tanchico, I have to sing the hills of Tanchico. And she's like so proud of herself, like for knowing it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I read this in a book somewhere. I'm going to use it
Yeah.
now. I'm going to use this knowledge now because I'm smart. Dan, you mentioned it before, the Eelfin, Foxman, last episode. What are people's thoughts?
Genie, please.
Fox Genie.
Well, so Jen explained this to me. So there's the Eelfin and the Aelfin.
Yes.
And Matt met the Eelfin.
Yes.
But Elida went to go see the Aelfin.
Yes.
Yes. So there was another. There's another door frame. Yeah. So there's another door frame. Right. We see that door frame in the first episode of the season when they're in the 13th depository. That door frame is there.
Do you know what that is? Where they go when like Varen and Naomi and her sister go in to like protect all the artifacts, and then Naomi just like attacks them and steals a bunch of stuff.
Yes.
In there.
Oh, it's in there.
It's in the background.
It's like, with the artifacts?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you see it in the background, the archway, that doorway. That's what Elida went through in the, in the cold open of the last episode with the flashback. That's where she's coming out of. And you're right, that's the Eelfin. And then there's another doorway in Tanchico in this show. That's the Eelfin.
So there's one door to the Aelfin, one door to the Eelfin.
That we know
that there's one door to the Eelfin, and you know there's one door to the Eelfin. That's what you know.
But I mean,
could be more.
It's like, I mean, like for the brief moment that they mentioned it, or Elaine's like, I went to go see the Eelfin, and he told me that, blah, blah, blah. And then later on, it's like, I am the Eelfin. Am I supposed to understand and just like absorb that these are two different things?
I think you are. I think this show is intended to be rewatched, and for you to pick up on things that you didn't catch the first time. I think that really that's like it's designed to have like layered information, but I think on first glance you're just supposed to go, oh, she went through a doorway, and then he goes through a doorway, and you see what's on the other side of it. Now you're like, what did she just do? Like, I think that's really all you're supposed to take away from that.
Yeah, like maybe there's two doors that go to this place, because you can't, unless you're looking unless you have the closed captioning on, I doubt anybody was like,
right.
oh, they said Eelfin, they said Aelfin, like, especially like how many episodes apart is that? Oh, it's the same episode actually, right? Because it's a cold open episode. Yeah. But it's
so
like
she went to a different thing.
She saw.
Well, we don't know what she saw. To be honest with you,
that's true.
We don't know what she saw, but she came out of a different door frame
and said
that looks the same,
a different name, right?
And like whatever it was comes at a cost.
Yes.
Like your whatever your
right.
Like maybe I don't know. Elida's got tremors now. I don't know.
You don't know what you got.
Yeah. So he said a bunch of stuff, Dan, that didn't make any sense, right? I didn't mean to say like you, Dan. I didn't mean like that. Yeah.
To Matt.
Yeah, you were saying that he says a bunch of stuff, and you're like, "Am I supposed to know what he's talking about?"
This is me. I'm like, "Did you hear what he said? Listen, did you hear everything he said? Did you hear what he said? Did you hear what he said?"
No,
it's so fast. It's so fast. Like
because I just assumed that Elida went through like another door to go see the same guy.
Yeah,
that's what I thought.
I think that's what we're supposed to think.
There's a fox noise. There's the noise that the fox guy makes is like you hear it as she's like coming out.
Yeah.
So
again,
but that's the only hint we have of like what that and a different name, which whatever.
Maybe it's two brothers.
Why do they have to make the name so similar? I hate that shit.
Two Fox brothers.
Yeah.
Again, this is a
Tom
like
thinks he looks
Sarah,
like
it's like House of the Dragon.
the mayor
Change
from
the names.
Zoo.
It looks like it does. It looks
Oh,
like Ben Vereen from
you're talking about who is it? Rhaenys, and
Like 5 of them.
Oh no, like there's a plot
one
point.
of them.
Yes, there's a plot point that there's the same name. It's like you're not talking about him, you're talking about him.
I can't handle it.
Yeah, I don't even remember what he says in the show. I remember what they say in the books. Right? They talk about. Did you bring anything? Right? They say the musical instrument,
He says all
fire,
that.
the iron,
Well,
and then he's just really getting on his case about what is your need.
Yeah.
There's cool sound effects. I like the sound effects.
Yeah.
It's
sound
like
is
done.
good.
It's like
Yeah.
That's in the books, right? There's like a gong every time, right?
Yeah.
Like some sort of
I
gong.
don't remember.
Yeah, there is.
There is.
Yeah, they actually have that in the books, which was cool that they did it in the show. Because it's also helpful because it kind of points out, okay, this is something he asked for or wanted, and it's been given to him.
Yeah.
And you don't know. Do we know everything that he got? I'm trying to remember now.
He asked for a way to be free of magic. And then
He asked for the memories to go away.
And then we can take the memories from your head. You can fix me, is what he says. Done.
Yeah.
That's a response. So
It's not really a request.
He doesn't really ask for anything. And
True.
Like, I think it's interesting because the Eelfin kind of pushes that one.
Yeah.
And then
Well,
at the
we
end
know
of
why
that,
that.
yeah. But at the end of that scene, like he doesn't remember how he got in Tenchico. Like, so like, what memories did they take from his head?
And his third request was
maybe not the right ones
to get out.
To get out.
So his 3 requests
the third
were
was like,
take the memories. I want to be rid of the magic, right? And get me out of here.
Yep.
Okay, so we know he obviously got out of there. We know his memories have been taken, but we don't know anything about him. He wants to be rid of magic. What that means. So that's something we'll have to look out for in season 4.
The Eelfin grants your wishes and takes care of your needs, but the Eelfin does what? Like tells you your future or something?
We don't know.
Like answer questions. In the book, they answer questions.
But
basically, they answer 3 questions, but it has to be specific questions. There's some stuff you can't ask about,
but is the implication there that, or at least speaking for Elida, that like she's asking about the future and she's constantly asking about.
I mean, that's what we think, but
granted the Amaryllis seat.
Yeah,
that's what we think, but we don't know.
It sounded like, from what they presented on the show, it sounded like she asked to be Amyrlin.
Or she asked, "Will I be Amyrlin?"
Yeah, we don't know.
And they said she would be, but just not today.
Right.
basically.
She walks out very.
They didn't
confident.
tell her when it would happen. Obviously, maybe they said she would, and she is, but it didn't happen as she expected it to happen.
Yeah, she thought she was going to become Amerlin that day.
Like that day, yeah.
But it was 20 years later. Not 10 years later, sorry.
10 years later.
Did she go to see him twice though?
I don't know.
We don't know.
We only know of one time.
When was it though?
That she went through the door? It was 10 years ago on the day that they voted between her and Swan to be Amerlin.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
That was the cold open of episode 8.
Right. She walks out of there going like, I'm going to be Amerlin. And
It's
Alviarin screws her.
Yeah.
But then changes her mind, and it wasn't logical at that time, right? That's what it was. It wasn't logical.
Yeah, it's logical now.
It's logical now, for sure. Jen, Tom, do you have questions that you want to ask these wonderful people with us?
Yes. So our son briefly got up and then just changed positions. So this goes back to the first question that you asked, Dan. Someone asked us in chat, and I had the same question. You said season 2. You thought season 2 was like maybe a half step above season 3. Was that because you just thought, hey, it did everything that season 3 could do, but better? Was season 3 lacking something for you? Was there a piece that you felt like, if only Moraine was more miserable in this season, like it would be better? Or I don't know.
That's a good. Yeah, and I want to follow up on that after you answer.
Yeah, so I'm just curious as to, like, is it a matter of just, hey, season 2 was just so good, or was it like this was missing something?
No, I thought season 2 was very, very good. Like, I love the stuff with the gates, with Nynaeve, and
Arches.
the arches. But the best part of season 2 was Moraine and Lan. Like I kept saying, like in season 1, like I did not like Moraine.
Mm-hmm.
I thought she needed to be humbled. And in season 2, like she was humbled. And I was like, oh wow, this is like exactly what I was looking for out of Moraine. Then in the episode where she's talking to Lan and she said, yeah, I told you that we're not equals because you will always be my better. I was like, oh my God, that was phenomenal. Like, I don't know if anything is ever going to top that in the show.
Tom called that when she said that. Tom's like, oh, she's going to say like later on that you're my better. He called it. That's not in the books too. That's just,
complete show fabrication storyline that you love.
That's why it's so funny that you like. That's why I was kind of looking when you said, "Oh, it's like your favorite part of the season," and I was like, "That's like my least favorite part of the season because they fabricated this whole storyline. Because it's a whole fabricated storyline and it eats up time when they could be like exploring other things that actually happen."
But it was good, like the rebonding at the end. That was really good.
That scene was good. I don't think it was. Like that didn't pay off enough for me to like have to sit through all the other stuff prior to it.
Characters in the show, you gotta give them storylines.
No, I know. What did you think though, Dan, about Moraine this season? How do you feel about her this season?
I thought that like I don't know. I thought like every time she spoke, she just served to build what was coming. Like, you know, it's like when she spoke to Swan and she said, like, watch yourself, don't take another step out of line. She's just like telling everyone like something big is coming here. Mm-hmm. And then every time she kept having visions of Lanfear. And she's like, Lanfear is going to kill me. I know this is going to happen. Like, I just kind of thought that her main purpose this season was just to build up what was going to happen in the finale.
Okay. Did you think Moraine was going to die at the end of the season?
No. I never really like thought it was going to happen. Okay. But I think that was probably why I was so surprised when Swan died. Because like it seemed like they kept wanting you to think so much that Moraine was going to die. Like I was just like, I just don't buy that Rosamund Pike is not going to be on the show anymore. Yeah. So I thought that was part of the misdirect where they were like, no, Moraine's not going to go, but Swan's going to go.
Were you surprised? Or I should say, sorry, Michelle, did you think Moraine was going to die at the end of the season?
No.
Wow. How about you?
I didn't really think about it.
Wow.
I thought she might die.
Brendan didn't think she was going to die either.
No.
No.
Well, she's the star of the show.
Even though everything they showed you in this season was like, Maureen's going to die. Maureen's going to die.
Yeah, but I feel like
die.
Lanfear's too busy messing with Egwene. I was like, she's not going to kill her. She's too busy, being all fatal attraction and shit and going after Egwene in her dreams. She's like, I forgot about that. I have to kill Maureen.
She tried to kill Maureen. She just didn't succeed.
She did stab her.
Her heart wasn't in it.
And twisted the sword, which I didn't catch the first time I saw it. She stabs Moraine with Lan's sword at the end, and then turns it, which is what you're supposed to do to really kill somebody.
Well, I mean,
that's what happened to Loyal. He was fine.
Like in Face Off.
Yeah, and the first episode, how many? I mean, Leandra gets 2 swords in her. Perrin gets an axe in his chest. A freaking axe in his chest.
Yeah.
Just the beginning.
Nynaeve gets stabbed like 11 times.
11 times. Yes. I mean, Egwene only gets stabbed once by
just in the gut. She's fine.
Yeah. Let me ask all of you this then, right? So Moraine in episode 4, when she goes to Rodian, goes through this Terangrial, the rings, sees all these possible futures.
And Aviendha as well.
Right. But Moraine specifically, and she walks out of that going, hey, look, no matter what I saw, if I live, Rand dies. And then she doesn't die.
Yeah.
So, what do you think that means for the show?
There's no timeline on that.
Yeah.
But most of the things that you see are her and Lanfear fighting in the desert and dying. That happens like 4 or 5 times in a row, and they fight, and she almost dies but doesn't. So I guess the question I have is,
we only see those times. They only show us on TV the times that she dies. They show her the ones where she kneels to Rand, though, and
she does. But I guess my question is, are the rings incorrect, or is she survives, so Rand's gonna die? What do you think?
Or is Moraine gonna die just later on? Kind of like Elida thought she was gonna be Amerlin that day, but it turns out 10 years later. Do you think Moraine's just gonna die at a later point in the story? 3 options you got there.
Good on that, Joe. What do you think?
I don't think her living at the end of the season means oh my gosh, he's gonna go now. That didn't enter my head.
Okay.
I think it's a third option.
Okay. What about you, Dan?
I think she will die at some point to protect Rand, or so that Rand can succeed.
Okay. How about you?
At some point.
No, I agree. I think a lot of what you were seeing her do in the season was accept her fate and be okay with it and understand this has to be done, and I'm completely prepared for it. Because like I said about her in season 1, she is a soldier through and through. Yeah. This is the assignment. This is what I have to do. So I just think also those rings aren't so completely detailed. It's this is going to happen, but you don't know how it's going to get to it.
It's interesting because, Moraine Moraine, when she takes up this whatever quest, for lack of a better, in the second season, we get the cold open where her and Swan are with the old Isis at Miss Bliss, and she foretells the dragon being reborn, and they need to find him. They know that
Bliss to die.
Bliss to die. They getting into that. I think Moraine is, especially over the last 20 years, is prepared to die and has known that I could very well die, or I'm very likely to die on this quest. But she seeing it, and after she goes through those rings, you could tell she wasn't fully prepared. I guess now that she thinks she knows it's happening. But what I want to ask is, the 3 of you, in the books, do you think Rand or Moraine dies? We're not going to tell you the answer, but
I can't answer that because I already know one of those things because you told me a very long time ago.
Okay.
Joseph.
No, asked. I don't like not knowing things.
This is probably before we even started a podcast.
No, it was.
Oh, it was after.
It was when like the show started.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
You can't know.
no, I know, but I'm trying to think of the way you found out. Like Sarah, did you ask Joe, does this person die? Then was that confirmed or denied?
Outright, I was just asking about like one of those two characters, and I was being relentless so that he would finally answer me.
Okay.
Yeah, Gabe, surprise.
That was that.
I'm so curious
because
as to what question you asked and about which character.
I don't remember either.
Let's
so
be
I can't
careful.
even say because I don't even know which character I told her about, or if it was both of them, or one of them, or none of them.
It was only
But
one
Sarah,
of them.
Okay, well, it's just.
But
I
if you
won't say which one.
No, we're not trying to. Dan, you're not getting anything out of us.
I'm not trying to get anything out of
Okay.
you, but like I'm just but because I thought if Sarah asks you a question like what happens to this character and then you told her, like that doesn't give anything away. But if it was just Sarah found out because you let something slip, it's
No,
very.
I didn't
like,
let something slip.
He never lets anything
Okay.
slip.
I sometimes
I
do.
but like with me,
wait. Say that again for the podcast listeners.
I'm only speaking for myself. He never lets anything slip.
Hear that, everybody? I don't spoil things.
I am just, I do not stop until I get my way.
Everybody in chat's like, no, you're wrong. I don't believe that.
Right. Joe spoils things all the time.
I don't spoil things all the
He
time.
thinks it's funny when I'm curious, and so he will annoy the ever living shit out of me until he finally gives me the answer. Like it'll take a little while.
Because I've told her some things. I've said like I'm not going to answer that for you. I don't want to.
There is a few things he's refused to answer.
I don't want to ruin things. So, or it's like something I know is going to happen in the season. So maybe it's not a huge thing, but like I know it's going to happen in the season. So just wait for it to happen. It's not like you're going to have to wait like 3 seasons for it, or I don't even know if they're going to do it. So.
I'm having like deja vu to like when the Harry Potter movies came out, and I used to have to like cover my ears when you guys would like talk. I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think you guys answered my question though. Sarah can't answer it. Do you think Rand or Moraine die, or both, or none dies in the books?
Michelle, you go first.
I think Rand will die.
Okay. Show prediction too. Rand will die, Moraine will live. Okay.
Yes.
Dan, I like that.
I think now in the show, I think Moraine dies and Rand lives.
Okay.
I think in the books, I think they both live in the books.
Okay.
I always thought they both lived, but then after this, I think she's going to die in the show.
All right.
So I'm going to go one further with that, right? We
My
talked
face is a
earlier.
mask.
We talked earlier about the fact that this season, like, they killed off like main characters, like people, like central party members.
Yeah.
Right. And some other characters who have been on the show since season 1. Do you think any of the main cast will die next season? And if so, whom?
Of the main
Not
cast.
right away.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, definitely. I can't think of which one specifically though.
Right. So you got like yes, not to like Daddy's been around since first season. I wouldn't necessarily consider her like one of the main cast members. You more recurring, but you have Loyal, you have Swan. Like these are people who have been main characters from season 1. Right, Val, the main villain, one of the big villains in the show.
Lan.
Next season out.
Yeah.
Okay,
Land's gone.
I like it.
Dan?
I don't know.
Sarah?
I'm so bad at this.
Pick a character to die.
That's what I did.
Who would you like to see die, Dan? In the show. Not
I
really.
don't want to see anybody die.
Okay.
Really? I'm a horrible person. I'm like, there's so many people I'd be like, yeah.
Who do you want to see die,
Yeah, who do
Sarah?
you want to kill?
Leandrin?
Oh, yeah, Leandro.
I love her.
Is that
I
That was good.
Jaw,
I wasn't sure what
Sister,
this was.
Sister Strongjaw.
Oh, I thought that was the collar. Oh, okay.
No, I was
the
thinking of
jaw.
her jaw.
Jaw.
It's a jaw.
Oh,
Yeah.
I like her.
I I understand why she does some of the things that she does.
Well, we'll find out. Yeah, this season.
She's like a very complicated character. I don't know that I'd want her to die like next season because I feel like I need to know more about her. Like they've done enough backstory on her, but she's just.
I feel like she's lying now, right? About like, 'cause she's like, I wish I didn't have my son. That was a lie.
I think that's a lie. Yes.
Dan,
Yeah,
we're
I think
getting
that
comments
was
on your ponytail with the pink light.
Thank you, everybody.
I was about to say it looks like your hair was dyed pink.
Oh, that's cool.
Which works.
Yeah. It works. Yeah.
Who's that one warrior one? I mean, how many times were they faking out killing her this season? Like, what's the green one?
Lana.
Oh, Alana?
What the hell? That, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that kind of got annoying after. I was like, how many times are you gonna put her on the brink?
She got shot with many arrows.
I feel like
Twice.
she's someone that won't make it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I like
okay.
that.
She'll die a heroic death, I feel, but I don't think that she'll make it.
A third heroic death.
So many close calls, but yeah, at some point there's not
Right.
going to be someone there that can heal her.
Right.
Not
As
yet.
if from the heavens.
Yeah.
A 15th heroic.
15th arrow.
She's like a cat, I guess. Oh man. Any more questions? Otherwise, I think we could wrap it up. I mean, is there anything? Tom, Jen, do you have any questions? Dan, Sarah, Michelle, are there anything you have us here to ask any question to us? Anything? Final points? I'm trying to think. If there's anything?
The tree. Can I ask you about the tree?
Oh yeah.
So, like, there were like 1,000 trees sent out. Is that
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Something
Yeah.
like that.
Is there only one tree surviving now?
I think so. That's
Probably.
as far as we know.
Yeah.
That's the one that made it.
A lot of
Oh,
those-
so
a lot of
only
those-
one made it. So
I,
there's
I
only one
believe
tree.
so.
Yeah. In
Yes.
the books, that's the only one that makes it.
Yeah.
So the idea
Like,
is, I think the other ones,
get
right? There's the
burned or
breaking
destroyed.
happens, so like they just get destroyed. And this one happens to get protected because what's her name, Latra, right? She raises up the smoke in the city and the columns and puts some sort of protection spell on it on the city.
Also, like this is the one with the sangreal in it. So like this is, if they're gonna make sure anyone survives, it's gonna be this one. Like they're holding that sangreal in that tree the entire time. As you go through the flashbacks, it's always with the tree. So like
It's always with his family. His ancestors always have it too. If
Yeah.
you notice,
Yeah.
like right, because
yeah, they're the ones charged with it. And
Yeah.
like but there's like one of the flashbacks. It's the one where Ren's like very old, and it's where the Tuatha'an break off.
Mhm.
Right? You see, like there's like 12 wagons, and 11 of them are burned, and that's the only one that's left.
Yeah. They
Like,
just didn't make it
It's kind of
know,
implied
rather
that
if they
the
got
other ones just don't make
destroyed. Yeah.
And did I ask you this? Like, is that why the Tuathan are so against fighting? Because they know they have to protect this tree, and if they get into fights, then there's a much, much greater chance that the tree will be destroyed.
they were always that way.
No.
it. Right. So the
Before,
Aiel,
even before the tree.
yeah.
Yes. That was
the-
just their culture and their people. Like they followed the way of the leaf. Like
Right.
when you go back to
Yeah.
the Age of Legends, they're following the way of the leaf.
Yeah, all the Deshaun Aiel are. So like when they split up, like the Tuatha'an abandoned their oath to
There's a
protect
great
the
infograph. I think that
to keep their oath of nonviolence, right? And to keep the way of the leaf, they abandon their oath to do their duty, right? And then the Aiel keep their oath to do their duty and abandon the way of the leaf. So they both kind of like they both break off from like what they were charged to do, right?
What oath?
Remember when to keep the stuff safe, like like all the sangreal and the tree, they're supposed to be protecting it and bringing it somewhere.
Right. And they're
I remember the one scene where Rand is like the grandfather,
Yes.
Well, whatever. Yeah, he's old, and then he has the son, the young grandson, and then the woman is like, "We're gonna stay here and go this way." That's
Yes.
like the current age Tuatha, and then he keeps going with like a small group, and eventually I think they die out, and then whoever became Aiel just like
So like they say they're meeting other people, so there's other Aiel that they're going to go meet. But like if it goes back to the furthest flashback, not the furthest one because that's when the breaking happens, but the second furthest one when like Lotra gives them the sangreal and they leave all the wagons with all the chora trees, right? Like they swear to her that they're never gonna stop. They're gonna find a place of safety. They're gonna protect the sangreal. Like that's it. And she says like the other sangreal is in a fortress. It's being protected by war. I want this one to be protected by peace. That's my goal.
Right. Gabe and I just both posted it in there at the same time. Yeah, so, Amber from Road to Tarvalon did like a cool infographic that I remember from when the episode came out to kind of break it down. If you guys pull it up in Discord, right, there's the Dashane Aiel. What were we talking about, Joe and I, when old Rand character, right? His party splits up. The other group turns into the Tuatha, which is what you see today, right? The Tinkers that you see today, right? Aram and his grandmother Illa. They broke the oath to transport the items to safety, so they did break an oath. And then Jonai, right? His party technically splits up, right? You've got the ones who continue on the journey, and then Lewin who does violence, right? And they become the Aiel, Lewin and the others like him. And then
all the true Dashane that stay on that they die out.
Yeah, the Gen Aiel, I guess they become that they continue their oaths. They do no violence, and they bring the items to Ruidian to protect them. So they keep all our oaths, but then they go extinct. So
now the Tuatha, all the way on the bottom, they break the oaths to transport the items.
And they wander off. They're trying to find a place of safety. They don't care about their promise anymore. They just want to find some place where they're not going to be. Because like at that point, they're like, the breaking's over. We can find some place of our own, which they never find. Right? They're still wandering to this very day,
looking for the song.
Which you hear in the beginning. The song is just like a song that they would sing when they would harvest. It's just a song of peace. Like it doesn't have any magical powers or anything like that. It's just a song of better days almost. Right. And it's over the thousands of years, it's become like this talisman for them. So like the Aiel and the Tuatha together, like if you could somehow, which I don't know how they're diametrically opposed now, but if you could somehow merge them, they would be these true Dashane Aiel from the Age of Legends.
So now, what's confusing me though is I thought their oath was to transport the item. So how are they breaking their oth to transport the item?
They didn't.
They're
left
breaking
them.
the oath. They're breaking this oath. That's what this means.
Oh, the oath to transport the items was broken.
Yes, that's what that means.
Okay,
they go, forget that. We're gonna
not. They break the oath that they made to transport the items.
Okay.
Right.
So Lewin's party, the Gen Aiel, they're the ones who protected the items and kept the oath.
Yeah, but then like I guess eventually like whoever didn't transition into a modern Aiel died.
They die off, right? The Gen Aiel kept their oaths. They're the ones who go extinct, right? The ones who kept their oaths, all of their oaths, they go extinct. And then the two groups that broke their oaths in different ways are still around. And that's the Tuatha, the Tinkers, and the Aiel.
But now, when keeping their oath like this, they achieved the goal of bringing them to Ruidian, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and right, this path, right? This winding circuitous path, eventually allowed for Perrin to find a peaceful solution to the Battle of the Two Rivers, and for Rand to have an army of soldiers that he has now, for the most part, with some large exceptions, won to his side. So like he has an army that's loyal to him. So like this terrible journey that they go on, like sets up these two cultures to play a very important role in the last battle.
Yeah.
Oh.
You got the Aiels and that's the fun thing, that something that's stuck with both the Tinkers and the Aiel is that they despise swords. They both despise swords. And that, why the modern Aiel, like Avienda and those people despise swords. It's a piece of their culture that they still held on to, but the majority of them don't understand why.
Right.
And that's the reason why, like, and how that's connected back to the Tinkers, because the Tinkers, they're just tinkering pots over there. Yeah.
All right.
So there's a history lesson.
Got it.
Got it? You're all good?
Got it.
Thank you.
All right.
Yes.
I'm gonna wrap it up here. I want to remind everyone to follow us on social media. You can follow us on Twitter. Well, before I get to that, I want to thank Jen, Dan, Michelle, and Sarah for coming on the podcast. Jen, you too. I want to thank you. Tom.
What is this? I'm the only person
Everyone but
thank.
Tom.
Everyone but Tom. I want to thanks for being here.
Oh, yeah.
Dale.
Goodbye, everybody.
I want to thank Dale for being here on the couch or wherever he is over there, a few feet from you. No, thank you for coming on. We always love having you on, so appreciate that. And I want to remind everyone to follow us on social media, to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Blue Sky. Join us over in Discord to continue the conversation there. We also post our episodes on YouTube, so be sure to go to our YouTube page to like and subscribe. Rate and review us wherever you listen to podcasts, and check out our merchandise and Patreon page to support us that way. Links to all the aforementioned information are included in the show notes to this episode. Final words, everybody. On a scale of 1 to 5, Dan, Michelle, Sarah, what would you give season 3 of The Wheel of Time?
3.
1 to 5?
3 for Michelle? Stars. How many stars would you give it? You can go half if you want. Half stars. Quarter stars even.
Like 3 3/4.
3.75.
I was a bit lost. Yeah.
Dan?
I would say like a 4, like a 4.1.
Stay on the quarters.
Quarters. Stay with the quarters.
4.25.
4.25 or 4?
Then I would say 4.
4.
Okay.
Okay.
Solid 4.
Good.
Any final thoughts?
5 stars for the costumes.
4.17.
5 stars for costumes. over there.
Especially those Tanchico costumes.
We're gonna.
Yes.
Cool.
Sharon's gonna be at WatCon, the costume designer. Let me-
Eelfin too.
Yeah, write
Very
me
impressive.
if you have any questions for her. Let me know.
Okay.
I'll be sure to ask her. Final thoughts, Jen and Tom.
Let's go next.
Yeah,
Alright.
they went.
They went. They won.
They're going. Yeah.
All right.
Almost
Oh,
40 points.
yeah.
now
Oh,
they
God.
get to go to Indianapolis and
Gabe's gonna.
play Reggie Miller and the Pacers. That's the
Yes.
basketball I remember.
Yeah, Reggie Miller, Rick Smits, Antonio Daniels.
They did beat the Pacers to go to the finals. Like I think 2 of the last 3 times they went to the finals. So hope.
All right.
Yeah, last time they played Pacers in the finals was '99, I think. Anyway, thanks everyone for listening, and you'll hear us next time.